Welcome to Playoffs Ball, the ultimate destination for all things basketball. Now we'll take you the greatest stories of Allen the Answer Iverson, told by NBA players.
In my generation, AI was much the same. It always put you in jeopardy.
What were the players that you looked up to the most?
Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson.
Yeah, Michael Jordan, number one. Allen Iverson, number two.
Low key, I've always wanted to be like Allen Iverson.
You played against Allen, it was one of those things that he is the Red Bull.
Little guy's not supposed to be doing that. Little guy's not supposed to be crossing up the greatest player ever to play the game twice and not go anywhere. Little guy's not supposed to come in and get knocked to the floor and still come back up.
I don't think we should judge Allen for the way that he wants to express himself.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Practice.
Talking about practice.
We talk about practice?
You ready to go to practice when we get better, bro?
Practice. Not the game. You talking about practice?
Practice. We talking about practice?
This is the honest to God truth. I retired because of Allen Iverson. He came down and he did that crossover thing, and I tried it, then he laid it up, and then he hit me on the butt running by, and I knew it was time to go.
He had such incredible speed. He had such a quick first step. To be that quick, and his energy. It's something that makes him remarkable.
I know that Allen Iverson is not the prime kid. I know everybody don't like him. I know his history's been well documented. We're talking basketball. Y'all need to go back and look at the highlights.
We hear words like one-word descriptions. I would say competitor. Who's on your short list of best competitors you face?
Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, the two that come to mind immediately. In my generation, AI was much the same. From opening tip to the end, this guy was just going and going and going. It always put you in jeopardy.
Talk to us about your relationship with Kobe and what it was like going to war with him over all these years.
He was just,
really reminds you.
yeah, he was the ultimate. He was the ultimate competitor, man. Like,
Lucky Allen Iverson, not 6'8". 6'6", that's what he always
that's what that man said.
You lucky Allen Iverson.
And when I heard that,
6'6".
it made me feel so good because the respect that he gave me, it was like, he know.
He drove me to be as more obsessive about the game because I had to figure out how to solve that problem,
You know how killers respect killers. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. He knew who I was. I know who he is. He gave me that push. I gave it to him. I love the stories. Just for people to put me in the same sentence with Cole, just make me feel good about my grind, my mom, my family, my teammates, y'all, my homeboys. Just is a tribute to y'all.
And I told him when I saw him here this weekend, I said, man, you don't realize how much you pushed me. And I don't think people nowadays realize how great you were as a player and how big of a problem you were for defenses.
To put me in the same category as Kobe Bryant, like, that's so dope.
Rick, I remember my first year coaching in Toronto. I'm in this little restaurant. I go to a little quiet place. In walks AI. And we got a Sunday afternoon game, 12 o'clock. And AI is hanging pretty good. This girl, and I'm sending him drinks. And I'm like, AI, keep drinking up, keep eating. And he looks at me as he's drinking one of my drinks. He said, Coach, it's not going to work. I love Toronto. I like to put a show on here. And he commenced to coming out and giving us about 49 the next day at 12 o'clock.
Here's Iverson wants to go one-on-one with Caldwell. Now comes up on crossover.
Allen Iverson, Chuck, those numbers say it all.
To me, pound for pound, one of the most toughest competitors in the NBA. He knew he was going to get hit, knew he was going to get beat, yet he kept getting up and he kept coming. And so, like Grant said, much deserved, one of the toughest players ever in the history of this game for inside.
Who was like the hardest player that like every year you're like, yeah, yeah, I gotta be ready for this guy. Like
Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson. because you know, I always say like Allen was that he was like that white boy player in high school that played balls hard, like sweating on you playing. But he was the talent. You know, it was the talent. You know what I mean? So you know, he's playing 150 miles an hour the whole time. Like, so you're gonna go from him getting a steal here to him saving the ball, jumping 4 rows into the what's the name? Somehow he got out of that and made a layup. Like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? That was his hustle. Like, you know, if you know a ball got knocked loose and you like jogging out, somebody go out of bounds, he sprint to a dive. Like, he was one of those guys. So when you played against Allen, it was one of those things that he is the Red Bull. You know what I mean? So, you know, trying to stop him from scoring was a whole issue on itself. Because, you know, green light, you know, he had no conscience. He's trying to score 56. But it's matching his energy was what people didn't understand. I mean, you got to match his energy to even compete with the 60. You know what I mean? So it's one of those guys, you got to pick him up, you know, 64 feet. You got to do all that. It's like, it's because, you know, like on offense, you got to try to get him tired when you don't have the ball because you don't want him to rest because he's doing the same thing. Like, it was just, you know, it was like, you'd rather guard, to be honest, you'd rather guard Kobe.
Really?
Than Allen.
Why?
Because with Kobe, he's going to go to his spots. You know, it's going to walk you down, come on. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. You already know you're going to get someone who's trying to score 60, but there's different types of 60. Yeah. This guy he's a 60 headache.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's one of those 60 headaches where it's like, it's just a non-stop coming. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I know, you know, Kobe got the ball every single time, but it didn't actually feel like it. Yeah. Because it's like, it went through offense. You know, it went through offense, he cut, passed it, backdoor, this. Okay, he came to the, looked around, he didn't like it, passed it, reposted. Okay, whew, got some breaks. Yeah. Allen, as soon as he got the ball, he went to go try to score. If he didn't, he passed it, got it back, then tried to score. Yeah. He didn't like that, he got it, then tried to score. Yeah. It was like, God, like you. Yeah. So you're sitting here like, stop me real quick. Yeah. and don't have on number 3. Yeah. If you had on number 3, he took it personal.
I'm going to zero in on a date. We just celebrated the anniversary, March 12th, 1997, your rookie year. The team at this point of the season is 16-45, and you're playing the defending champion Chicago Bulls at what was then the First Union Center. They were 54-8 coming in.
As a kid, Allen had bragged to his coach about taking MJ, and now he'd finally get his chance.
And at one point during the game, you're isolated on Michael Jordan.
When I grabbed the ball, I heard Phil Jackson yell, "Michael!" That play, I remember that play vividly because Michael Jordan was my hero. Everybody know that. He was my favorite player. He's my idol. I literally wanted to be like Mike. I remember the first time I played against him.
And I've heard you say multiple times that when you saw him for the first time on the court, it was like the Chappelle Show. He had the aura. You could literally see the aura around him.
Like, I literally seen his aura. It looked like he was glowing.
Talk a little about Allen Iverson for a second. First of all, 2-part question. I want to know what you think of his game. He had 32 points, but 9 turnovers. And number 2, for a rookie, does he talk a little too much on the court?
Well, I mean, he's very confident, and I think I can understand where he's coming from. He wants to be respected in this league, and he certainly has the right skills.
It was Mike. It was my idol. It was my hero. And I got a lot of flack from my teammates. You know what I mean? Because they were like, you know, basically teasing me, like, "You're not gonna play your game tonight, huh? You're playing against your guy. You're not gonna come with it, huh?" I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? So I was being this tough guy with them. I used to always tell my family, my friends, my teammates in college and high school, I said, you know, even my the guys on my team, for the Sixers, said if I get the greatest player to ever play the game on me, I'm gonna try my move on him.
Is he the quickest guy you've faced?
He's very quick, him as well as Stoudemire, and I think both of those guys are very, very quick. And as long as we come up with the win, I can care less.
Thanks,
First on the
So
team.
I remember I came off a screen or something, and I heard Phil Jackson say his name. Mike called him to switch out on him.
Iverson has Jordan. The crowd is into it.
I gave him a little cross to see what he bite on it. I let him set his feet, and then I stepped it back again.
Allen shakes three, gets two. Mike said no. Allen said yes. The bucket, the crowd loves it.
And I gave him a little one, and he went for it. And I was like, oh yeah, I got his ass now.
Here he was, a rookie coming into the league, going against the best player in the game, probably the best player in the history of the game. And it was sort of a statement play. He comes in and goes at him. They switched off, and he crosses him up twice, hits a tough shot on him. Of course, the Bulls did win the game, but it was sort of like, introducing Allen Iverson to the basketball world.
I don't know if I can say it again, but he was like, MF, you don't love me, you wouldn't cross me like that. So, it was Mike. He was the greatest player that ever played the game.
The great thing about it, I never had to guard him because I wasn't stupid enough to switch on him after I saw what he did with MJ.
Got a little guy. Little guy's not supposed to be doing that. Little guy's not supposed to be crossing up the greatest player ever to play the game twice and not go anywhere. Little guy's not supposed to come in and get knocked to the floor and still come back up. Little guy's not supposed to do whatever he wants to do. Little guy's not supposed to be a three-time scoring champion. Four, excuse me. So that's why I think he had a bigger impact. I think people can relate to him more because not a lot of guys that are 7'11". There's not a lot of guys that are 7'1". There's a lot of guys that are 6 foot, 5'9", 5'10".
And one story I have, we haven't practiced. He's going hard as I don't know what. The media's been on him, kind of all this, and he's just mad. He's quiet, he's not saying nothing. I'm like, oh yeah, there's something coming. Go to Milwaukee. It's the best game I've ever seen by a teammate in my life. He gave him 60-something. Passing the ball, doing his thing. Was he a difficult player to play with? He only knows how to score. He only knows how to go hard. But I've never in my life, never played with a player that played as hard as him on the court. Maybe Bobby Jackson, Doug Christie, other guys that played as hard. And so it's a lot of guys I know played as hard, but I've never been with somebody played as hard as him. And so when I see him going through all this, I just hope that at the end of the day, because all we're talking about is basketball. He's not President Obama. And all we're talking about is movement. If you look at him and what he did, man, you name me another guy with the heart he had every night. He used to wear hockey pads. The pads that go, you guys probably want to, pads that go all the way around you. I used to see him after games, bruised, banged up, and his only thing was, we gotta go hard. If they watch me, this is the first night, this might be the first time anybody's ever come see me play. It's just an honor to watch that guy play, man, and I'm proud to say I played.
Justin Kimbrell said I'm at
54. Well, I lied, I put 6 on it. I put 6 on it. My bad.
This is the second consecutive year that we've been up here on this stage. You've been nominated once again. Congratulations on that. How do you feel about that?
I feel very excited until I saw that Allen Iverson was nominated. So this is the honest to God. I retired because of Allen Iverson. He came down and he did that crossover thing, and I tried it, and then he laid it up, and then he hit me on the butt running by, and I knew it was time to go.
I'll tell you a story. When I was a rookie, my first game, that a man literally destroyed me. Like, I ain't never had nobody bust my ass before. Not for real. In my life. And I hadn't been killed like that before in my career, in my lifetime. And we played the Phoenix Suns, and KJ gave me 39, 9, and 9.
Kevin Johnson.
Yes. And it was not off athletic ability or nothing like that. He was just so much smarter than me. He just knew how to play the game. You know what I mean? I was just a puppet. And you know what you did to me. And I remember Maurice Cheeks, our coach. I remember Mo Cheeks telling me after the game, I sat in the locker room, I was crying. And I was actually crying in my locker. I never got destroyed like that. You know, because I was crying. That was honestly, I remember Mo Cheeks after the game telling me, like, you know, don't worry about it, AI. Don't worry about it, AI. One day you gonna get somebody 39, 9 and 9. And
somebody getting us on tape, right? I made him cry.
Yeah, that was the only time somebody destroyed me. And I remember I love Lou Williams, and I always think about one day at practice I had scored like 10 in a row on him.
Did Allen Iverson post up? Did he post up? I'm asking you a question. Did he post up? Well, then that's your fault. Then.
And Mochi said, and Lou was about to cry. And Mochi said, man, hold your head up. Don't cry. Do that to everybody.
That wasn't the truth. But the backstory to that particular day, we were giving him a hard time about practice. And he was like, I'm doing you a favor by not practicing. I take your self-esteem. And I said, oh, you must don't know me that well. And we began to go back and forth about him practicing. He eventually went and got dressed. And we battled it out. And obviously he is a Hall of Famer. He did get the best of me that day. But I stood up for myself, you know, so I was proud of that. But we had one of those AI days in practice. And he just did whatever he wanted to do with me. So
that might be the first testimony about AI in practice. Right, there you go. Talking about practice. There you go, not a game.
Gary, when I say Allen Iverson, what do you think of?
A great scorer, a great competitor. He did a lot of things that people didn't understand. He was there every night like I was, you know, and everybody's looking at him like this, that because of his attitude and he hasn't played and he tried to get back in the NBA, but look at him as what he did when he was with the Sixers. He was a great competitor. He went at everybody. He was the scorer that he was. He would never be another little man scorer like that ever in history, I don't think, of the way he can play basketball.
Gary, what were the biggest challenges in guarding Allen Iverson?
My biggest challenge was to not let him cross me over and break my ankles, for one, you know, and then plus, you couldn't let him have both worlds. Him and Tim Hardaway wanted both worlds. They wanted to break you down and go to the bucket, and then plus shoot the jump shot, and both of them could do that. So what my thing was, let me just keep him in front of me and hope that he doesn't make jump shots and when it contested, and let him beat me that way instead of beating me all the ways, because when he penetrates on me, he's breaking everything.
Where do you put him in your top players to have to defend? Where is he on that scale?
Oh, he's up there. I think he's got to be in my top 5.
Top 5?
He has to be in my top 5 because he was the hardest player because he's so small and he was so quick. And he can do both. You know, he can shoot and he can drive and he'll finish.
You know, it was one game where he was killing us in Philly. He was killing, like, our guards. And Doc gave me that look like, it's your assignment now. The dude never stops running. So I got to score and I got to slow him down. I was so tired after the game. I was the last one in the shower just like soaking and trying to figure out why am I so tired from guarding and chasing this dude all over the court. But he was a joy to compete against.
I want to start off, I want to throw this at Kyle.
This is an arguable question every time.
Who's the first person in the league to bust your ass? Well, you knew this like, oh man, this the league is real.
This man to my right. Oh, yeah, now this is good.
This is my first year, my second year in the league, and we was in Memphis. I remember something happened. And the referee, I was like, man, what you want me to do? The referee said, man, you know what? You're one of the hardest mother effers the referee there is. I said, so what am I supposed to do? Stay out of his way. I said, how am I supposed to do that? But, it showed me the ropes, and, it was a lesson that I learned. You know what I mean?
I think for a guy his size, he was the most intimidating player in the NBA. I mean, you think about a guy 6 foot, 160 pounds, he was intimidating because physically he had a level of speed that nobody had ever seen. You know about the killer crossover, but to see Webb's point, the athleticism and then the relentless attack mode that he was in.
Because that was the thing that made him so tough. Because some guys you would play against, and Rick, they're going to take 16, 18 shots a game. You're going to have an opportunity to defend. Iverson go out there and take 35, 40 shots. He was in attack mode the entire game. That just put a tremendous amount of pressure on 5 guys. It wasn't just a point guard. I just never seen anybody like him.
He's just fearless. That's what I respect most about him. He brought it night in and night out. You talk about guys that had an attack mode like Jordan and Kobe, that they're always compared. He's on par with them in terms of his aggressive attack to the game. You saw him tear up a little bit when he was talking about this year. This was the NBA Finals 2001.
2001.
But he went out and single-handedly carried them to that first game win in that series, and we fortunately came back and won that. But when I think of AI, he ranks up there, man. Chris, you're saying top 5 guards. He definitely, for pound,
he reminds me of Charles Barkley.
But yeah, it's a good comparison, position-wise.
Top 5, maybe a 2 guards, point guard, depending where you put him. And if you move Pippen to the 3,
We'll finish the argument.
I got him in the
top 10 for sure.
I remind you, Rick, 48 in Game 1.
Yeah.
Game 1 Finals against the Lakers. Only playoff loss the Lakers had.
Yeah, we were all trying to guard him that night.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
In the category of missed opportunities and what if and living totally up to potential, does Allen Iverson fit in there at all for any of you here?
No, I don't think so. He reached it to.
He maxed out.
I don't think there's any guard that size other than Isaiah that's going to have that career. I don't think anyone.
I think a lot of the guards like Ty Lawson, they thanking Allen Iverson, thanking guys like Isaiah to say, you know what, if I'm 5'10", 5'11", or even 6 foot, I can use my quickness. If I got a jump shot, use the pick and roll. Allen Iverson said that he can get knocked down 100 times, he's getting right back up.
Yeah, but I think he maxed out. Yeah, I don't think he. You won't look at Allen Iverson and say he did not reach his potential. I mean, he was MVP of our league once.
4-time scoring champ.
Yeah, so
there's nothing. If you get more out of that, get more out of that. Yeah, unbelievable talent, and an unbelievable culture impact.
Yeah.
He made your appearance, your demeanor, your attitude that people thought were threatening, not non-threatening, and realized that it's just a way of.
Was that good?
I think so. I really do. I think overall, he had his qualms, things about he probably should have done better. But in terms of a breaking down a wall and a barrier of stereotypes, I think he changed some of that. And I think that he made guys who wouldn't wear braids wear braids. He might have, I don't even know if Tim
Some
Duncan.
people wearing braids too long, man.
Yeah, true, too long. But I'm saying, too long. It was a stereo, it was a profile. And I think, the way he dressed and what he did, he kind of changed the whole culture and attitude. And you had guys, I even think maybe Tim Duncan had some braids at one time, you know what I mean? So it's kind of all, he just changed your thought process in a good regard in that way, even though there were certain things he could have did better.
So I want to ask you guys, in your career, who did you not want to face the most?
AI was mine.
All right.
I loved it. It's not that I didn't want to face him, but knowing that it's going to be an uphill battle. I always had a tough time with little, really fast guys. And as you can see right there, he got by me pretty easy.
Bubble chop.
But he was just fearless. He was fearless. I mean, he never let up. He was a warrior. You couldn't bully him. I could bully a lot of guys. You couldn't bully him. I mean, AI was my guy for sure.
Who's your point guard?
I'm gonna go with AI. Because he was fearless. He was really, like me, my thing was any little guy that came in there, I'm gonna touch him up, right? I'm gonna touch him up and let him double. He was the only one. Besides Gary, he was the only one that just kept coming back,
On the rebound. Iverson putting the move on Bryant. Steal. 5 block shots for Shaquille. O'Neal, while in the midst of that swooping hook, changed his mind. That was a pass. Iverson around Bryant. Oh, what a move by Allen Iverson.
So there's a very iconic quote that you said. I thought it was lit. You said, "The better you look, the better you play." And with that, let's just talk about the legend that is the arm sleeve.
Right.
Conspiracy theorists will say you used it to cover up tats. Other people say you had a little situation with your elbow, and then you wore it for every game for the rest of your career. How did this sleeve?
I used to. You ever play sports?
Of course, I play basketball.
Okay, so you're right-handed.
Yeah.
So the right side of my body, whenever I would fall or something, I would fall on the strongest part of my body all the time. So when I was in Georgetown, I used to fall all the time, whatever. And my friends used to tease me because I had a big Iverson sack on my arm. And then I went and had surgery on it, and it was still flaring up. So I would have to get it drained before every game. And when it all didn't come out, they gave me, it wasn't what people
sleeve
wear
that we
now.
see now, right?
Yeah, it was just some cloth, and it pushed it in. You know what I mean? So then they made one for it, and I wore it, and then my elbow got better, but I got used to it. Right. You know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, well, let me just throw some styles with it. So then I started putting the spider webs on it. In the Olympics, I put the USA on it, and then I just started doing stuff with it.
Do you remember the first time you saw someone else wearing a sleeve? Because I
know the first time that I couldn't believe Kobe did it. I couldn't believe he did it. But the first time I got excited about it is when I seen LeBron with the headband on the sleeve.
LeBron told the Bleacher Report, I didn't want to be Michael or Magic. I wanted to be Allen Iverson.
And that's the guy that wanted to emulate me. When
he said it. I didn't want to be
so
Michael.
So when I seen it, I was like, oh my God, that's dope. And it was cool for him to do it and paying homage to me. And he's colossal. Right. You know what I mean? He's a colossal superstar. Right. You know what I mean? And it was just dope.
Pound for pound, probably one of the best players that we've seen, and his heart, could never be judged. What he was able to give to this Sixers franchise, man. And I think anytime you bring Allen Iverson's name up, they will always think great things about him because of his ability to play the game at a high level every night.
Like, all right, some of these little dudes still, respect you and respect what you made them think when they was creating their own game.
He's an icon around the world, and he's pound for pound one of the greatest that's ever played professional sports.
AI has been doing it for years. His crossovers, his toughness. One game in Philly, he was just rocking the points up.
Iverson plans to swing in for two. How did he do that?
When I just found myself looking, I'm like, this guy's unbelievable.
Yeah, Michael Jordan, #1. Allen Iverson's #2. And obviously Kobe's #3. My top 3 favorite players of all time.
Steph, I noticed that you ditched the sleeve, but what was kind of the decision behind that? Did your elbow feel better?
Low key, I've always wanted to be like Allen Iverson. That was the only way I could really come close, but just wasn't feeling right. Just kind of split decision, just whatever. Success reason all really matter.
Do you remember how many points you had in that game against Iverson when he scored 60?
No, I don't. He scored 60. We lost. It was a tough loss. I don't.
You had 16.
I had 16.
You had 16. Just rubbing it in a little bit more here.
Yeah, hey,
Respect. Whenever they ask you a question like that,
Yeah.
they already know that.
They know the
They'll
answer.
save you
Okay,
up for the okey-doke,
I appreciate that, man.
The old banana in the tailpipe, okay?
I wore number 3 because of Iverson. He changed the whole culture of the game. And, one of my pound for pound best player ever played. 6 foot, 155, but the stuff he was doing was unheard of and unseen. So, I got tremendous amount of respect for Allen Iverson. The way he changed the game, it was an honor just to be able to play against him. The 2-3 years he was in the league when I got him. I really looked up to AI. He had heart, he carried his team, he scored, he played D, and he was small. It would have been crazy. I think that would have been the person that probably would have made me be starstruck a little bit. When I finally played against Kobe, my first game, and I was like, that's Kobe. I was kind of tripping out about it, but if AI was on the court, I probably would have been like, man, it's really AI in front of me.
In the NBA that you like to watch and maybe emulate?
He meant everything to me. I grew up in North Carolina, and I love Michael Jordan to death. but I think Allen Iverson has the biggest influence on the game of basketball than anybody. You know, I don't even think it's close. And a lot of kids and even guys in the NBA will tell you, you know, the sleeves the guys wearing their arms now, that's Allen Iverson. You know, some guys wear it as a fad now and stuff like that, but that's Allen Iverson. When I was a kid, I wanted braids because of Allen Iverson. You know, I wear number 3 the way that I played because of Allen Iverson. So it was tough to see him retire because, you know, he's AI. But like I said, it's a few guys that I played against in the league. I'll never forget the first time I played against him, and he was one of them.